GB Cycles here with a quick update on March the 26th. So, quite a bounce we got here. And is it a rally or is it still just a bounce? Well, we have to see today and tomorrow. It looks like a bounce. No, it looks like a rally, but it could still drop down to a double low. I think maybe we just had a very bullish 2-week oscillation low at this sideways consolidation ending Friday. But the question is, this next one, will we drop all the way down to a double low, or will it be some kind of a higher low? So let's have a look at some stuff. Well, my cycle here. Let's do some offsets. Going back one cycle, we see at this point we soon turn down. Going back 2 cycles, here we had some downside coming the next days. Going back at this point, comparing with the blue one here, a little bit more upside and then down. And at this point, well, sideways and down. And if I do the average of these, we'll see at this point the average of the previous cycles is up here in green, suggesting, well, it's kind of a sideways bias for another day or two and then down. So, well, I'm not quite sure about that. Looks kind of bearish. So, looking at my hourly data for Dow Jones Industrial, it's kind of a messy picture here. So let's, well, where to begin? I have my rally scenario here in blue, and it did look very promising until today. And now question is, is this a dip you want to buy, or will it go deeper? If it's a rally, we should soon turn to the upside, making a higher high. But if we flush down here, this is not a rally. It's a bounce and we should test the lows. Looking at my wavelets here, it looks bearish in my opinion. We have my 2-week oscillation in yellow up here, and it did not work very good here recently, but it is possible that this low was a 2-week oscillation low. We are now going up. But if we are losing steam already, it's bias for 1 week or more with downside. And we have my mystery magenta oscillation here, a 3-week oscillation. And that one is also suggesting we have maybe topped here and should go down for a week or more. And then we have my scenarios from a very oversold condition. I picked a group of analogs. I don't know, this is like 20 analogs or something, and I grouped them in 3 groups. Either it's a rally, it's a double low, or it's the bigger bounce and a double low. And on Monday we did not drop down, so the green scenario is dead. So it is either the rally scenario or the longer bounce. So at the moment, if I look at some analogs here, so if we break this trend line tomorrow and see a flush down to the downside, I think this is not a rally and we have to go all the way down and make a double low. But if we go up making higher high here, if we can find support at this trend line, or if we break below it but see buyers coming in and we don't see the market collapsing, well, so I think tomorrow or the next 1 or 2 days we will certainly see if it is a rally or if we have to go all the way down again. Well, if you look at this blue one, you could, well, it's not maybe that easy. Maybe, it's still possible we could go up here, make a double top, like this blue one, and then go down. So yeah, it's really tricky. So it was very difficult already the last weekend. I said I have no clue what's going to happen this week. I have 3 scenarios, now I have 2, and I don't see a very good edge here, making a bet and be certain about the probabilities here. Anything could happen here. So just be careful and don't have any strong opinions here. We could either rally or we could drop down. And if we rally, or I would say in the end we should rally. In the end we should start a new 10-week oscillation. Maybe we already have, but if we drop down, then we will start it in a week or 2. And that this next 10-week oscillation, I'm highly suspecting it will be a lower shoulder, and then we will see panic around May. Now, I also had a request about what is my expectation for this coming 3.5-year cycle low, or this coming bear market. And let's have a quick look at it, because we are now entering the bearish part of the 28-year cycle. It is similar to the 1970s and to the early 2000s. And here I have drawn the 42-month average in white. And if you look at this bullish part of the 28-year cycle, we see in general we find support around that average. In this bullish part, we see in general we find support at this average. And the recent 15 years we have found support at the 42-month average. And normally when we have a 3.5-year cycle low, we drop down in the neighborhood of that moving average. Now a bit below 5,000 for the S&P. But that is in the bullish part of the cycle. Now we are in the bearish, or we are entering the bearish part. And as we see, around 1969 we broke below the average, well below, and also in the next bear market. And then we started finding stability, and the bearish part was over. And if you look at the early 2000s, we see we broke below the average, and then we had a very bullish 3.5-year cycle low in the middle, and then we had a very bearish one. So you can see not every 3.5-year cycle has to be bearish in this red box, but there's a very high risk that it will be very bearish. And you cannot trust the 7-year cycle. Well, here you could. So 2002, 2003 was a 7-year cycle low, and also 2009. But if we go to the 1970s, we see 1974 here was a 7-year cycle low, but this one, 1970, it was not a 7-year cycle low. But we did get a deep bear market, retracing over 30% from the top. This next one was worse, it was almost 50%. So, in this red box, there's a high risk that every 3.5-year cycle can result in a 30% bear market or worse. So, at least we should, when we get confirmations that this is a bear market, that could happen in May, or it could happen later. But when we have a confirmation, then our first target is dropping down around the 42-month moving average, and we very well may drop below it, and quite a bit below it. So too soon to know exactly how this will play out. We just have to watch it as it happens and make our projections and estimate. Yeah. So that's for today, this quick update. So it will be exciting to see what will happen the next couple of days, and we should soon see and get the answer. Is it a rally or is it a bounce, and we have to drop down to make a bottom formation? Bye bye.